the feeling, first of all, needs to be acknowledged and accepted. You can't start with letting go, so you have to start with acknowledging it and accepting that it's there, because it's part of what is, the isness of the present moment. Mm-hmm. Whether it's an external thing or an inner thing, it is what is. And to deny or to argue with what is creates suffering. So you acknowledge, you accept that it's there. Then how much time you need to be with it varies from person to person, and what kind of a feeling it is, and so on. And then the question arises, what is the link between that feeling and your thought processes? The person needs to find out whether the thought processes keep that feeling alive continuously, whether they renew by playing out, for example, a past scenario in their minds, by reviving memories from the past, by dwelling on certain narratives that are painful, repeating them in their minds. That gives renewed energy to the feeling. Mm-hmm. So the most important thing is to be aware of both levels. What's the level of my thinking? How does that contribute to the perpetuation of what I feel? And so you also then acknowledge that, these are the habitual thought patterns that go through my mind in relation to the feelings. And then you would begin to realize that the letting go, the most important step in letting go of feelings, is to cut the link between your thinking and what you're feeling. How do you do that? You do it by being aware of your thinking and realizing that that thinking is pain. It feeds the old feeling, and the narrative, whatever it is a painful narrative, and you realize that you've been keeping it alive for some years, and when there's enough awareness, you realize that it has no purpose except to make you unhappy and to perpetuate that feeling. However, you need, and this is how you can help, or any counselor or therapist or spiritual teacher can help the other person by observing the feeling and seeing how the mind, the mental narrative, has both the mental narrative and the feeling seem to have a life of their own. And if they have been in there for a long time, they don't want to go. What they want is, they want you to be identified with them. They don't want you to be conscious of them. So this is really the mind aspect of the pain body and the emotional. The pain body is predominantly an emotion, but there is a mental aspect that the pain body needs to rise up into your mind in order to feed on certain types of thinking, in this case, the old narrative. So you also need enough awareness to know that this thing does not want to go, because there's a momentum behind thought patterns that have been active in your mind for a long time. So there's a momentum behind it. So you need to be acutely aware of the process of how it creates further pain. And when you look through it and see that's actually what it does, then you've recognized you cannot be deceived anymore by completely believing in it every time it happens. In other words, you see that you create your own pain ultimately. When you see that, that's the beginning of the end. And then you can reach a stage when the pain is no longer, the feeling is no longer fueled by thinking. Then you arrive at a stage where you realize, I don't need the feeling anymore. In fact, you don't need to let go, because then when you do not revive it continuously, it subsides by itself. So you don't need to actually say, I must let go. It lets go of you rather than you need to let go. It's because you're no longer giving it energy. You're no longer feeding it. So that's the process. So you need to let go is a bit like saying you need to forgive. That's another one like that. You need to really need to forgive